Keith just gave us the first countdown he's ever given us before he actually started the recording.
I feel so
That's
professional.
Now,
Well,
no, I have
he's done that for the
programmed
big game.
I have programmed the countdown on the screen so you can see it. You guys still ignore
does
it.
mean
That is
nothing.
not my fault.
That does mean nothing.
It feels
You
more
said
real when
that
you do
thing.
it.
What was that?
I said it feels more real when you just do it for us.
That's true too. That's true too. Uh, okay. So, does anybody else want to like throw in for the recap, or you just want me to go?
I wish that I remembered or like was confident enough in remembering
all I
to say
remember is
that I
that I
would.
all I remember is that I worked more on my mouse-sized Voltron.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So you are close to being done with Mouse Voltron, with Mighty Mouse. You've got like probably I think one more good day of work left. Um, it
That
will
sounds
not
right.
be as like glorious as you might have it if you have several more days to work on it, but it will be functional and something that you can tangibly give them um, in another good solid day's work. So, last time, um, you guys filled a steal in on what favor you were asking, having to go in and do the weave walking thing. Um, and he kind of informs you guys that there might be some different ways that you can help with ritual casting and perhaps some guarding, which Paul took to great heart very early on. Was just like, so I'm going to kill everybody that enters the room, right? Um, that is not what they're going for, but hopefully there will be some provisions made that will keep that from being the the thing that happens. We'll see. Um, so yes, Paul gets into a friendly fight with the table. We now have a tamed mimic table that I was not counting on existing in this world, but I like it a whole lot. So now that's a thing. A slightly extra dimensional tamed mimic table. Um, that whole scene delighted me to listen back to, by the way. That just made me so happy as you and the table just continued to trade blows like slug bug. That was lovely. Um, let's see, there was a rigged drinking contest where everybody except Eric and, well, everybody in the room except Eric and Thea got sloshed. So Paul and Imogen ended up pass out drunk. Um, so yeah, you and your little Nimish friend ended up pass out drunk. Let's see here. Eric starts to take an interest in Thea's work, um, being very impressed by some of the different things that she was designing and making suggestions for her and how the table should perhaps show up in the dream. Um, there was a forge contest with Giuseppe that Eden ended up coming in on and distracting him, so he lost the forge contest. Uh, it was still a good blade. He still made good things, but Giuseppe wasted no time in immediately harassing Eden a lot and giving him
Like
a
you
whole
do.
lot of yes. Uh, as this was happening, the mouse mech suits were being worked on. You also kind of aided in the harassment, Keith, so good job there. Let's see.
I was evening the playing field, is what I was doing.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, you cast invisibility on the opponent's blade for a while. That's right. Um,
Jeez.
tried to even the playing field since Giuseppe got uh, rather distracted. Um, let's see. Oh, off screen, there was a conversation had between Jessup and Eden that went reasonably well, all things
Mhm.
considered. He likes Eden more than he would want to admit out loud, but he likes him for now. Um, let's see. Breakfast with Demira and Estelle. Uh, Now Demira understands that Paul is smitten and has no idea how to deal with it, so she is also incredibly awkward.
Did you guys
Um,
out Paul while he was passed out?
what was that?
Did they out Paul while he was passed out?
No, I
No?
mean, he's not particularly subtle. So she figured this out after a little bit of time. Um, Now she has no idea what to do because she doesn't want to like lead him on, but also he's being really sweet and nice and she wants to treat him well. So she's being super awkward, which just created a really super awkward like tension in the room there. Um the rest of your crew, while he was sleeping off a hangover, met at George's for some things for your various rituals that Estiel had given you a list for. Tom was there and helped get you all the things that you needed. And then Thea took Eden to lunch with Tix, where Eden learned that he is in fact an incubus.
Surprise!
Great fun for Eden. Let's see.
Remind me, was Scylla actually there for that conversation? I don't remember.
No, he has not yet informed Scylla and Eric what's going on.
Oh boy.
Be the D&D room
Yeah,
in
yeah.
our
So that's a fun thing that we can either do on screen or off screen. It might be a long conversation though. So, uh, let's see. Tix tries to kind of sell Tanase's stories to not sell, but sell um, to Thea as like good dream ammunition. As Eden processes all of this strangeness, there's a whole like experiment done with napkin dropping that went kind of awry. Let's see. Da-da-da. Oh, and Thea is now determined that she's going to write about a giant raccoon. Um, you discover that you now have this connection to a thief, just in case you guys happen to need thieving to happen at some point. Yeah, I think that is the general gist. And when we left you guys off, you were preparing the room for the ritual, and we stopped shy of the ritual. So, yeah, lots of weird little things happened last time. Now we'll see about
As seems
big,
to be the case always.
indeed.
Lots of weird things.
Lots of weird things. Last time they were largely weird little things. Now they are going to not be so little, theoretically. We'll see. Um, so yeah, that's where we left off. You guys were getting prepared for the ritual. Um, Estelle. Oh, you also made sure that somebody else asked Estelle if he was actually okay with this to make sure that you weren't accidentally persuading him just by being who you are as an incubus.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah. Estelle kind of guides all of you into the room. Scylla and Eric would probably have rejoined you at this point in time, and would be asking, as they both do possess magic, if they were more useful in the weave, handling some of the magics, or as guards to make sure that everybody stays safe and okay. Um, Steele kind
I,
of is indifferent to that. He's not particularly weighted one direction or the other.
I mean, I personally think that I guess I could do that in character. Uh, I think that it would be perhaps most beneficial to have you uh, putting your magic in tandem with ours.
Very well. We can do this. Scylla says and kind of steps in. Is he being all weird?
A little bit.
A little bit. um, you kind of catch her side eye you a little bit, but she just sort of brushes it off for right now. Um, so apparently, Estiel did secure a bonus guard for you guys, um, bringing him in to kind of check under the. Hello, lovely. So Estiel brings in, or tells you that someone will be joining you shortly. Um, that he directs Paul that this man will know if someone poses a threat or not. So, based upon his judgment, that is when you attack anybody who enters the room to create any kind of chaos or anything like that. He will understand, and he will know who is safe and who is not.
So
So
anybody he points to, I can murder.
anyone
Kill.
he gives anyone he gives you directions to kill, you may kill. He will be very clear, I assure you. You will
I
not have.
I understand. I got you.
He looks a little concerned at this. Like,
I think kill versus murder is an important distinction. One of those is a legal term.
Right,
Uh,
right, right. Yeah, yeah. Um, I will kill anybody he points to and looks at.
I am so
Points to.
concerned.
Points to. Specifically points to.
Points to and directs, yes. Not just looks at. He might look at any of your friends. Um, let's
I'm willing
not.
to kill my friends if it means the safety of everybody else.
We have had
Let's
that problem before, actually.
let's let's stick with points to. He'll, he just kind of he looks very nervous. God, please.
Yep.
Um, a couple of minutes of setup as Esteel is finishing kind of some of the touches of like laying himself out a cot so that he can lay back and be comfortable. His body can be comfortable. Um, looked like you were about to say
Um,
something.
a reminder for Keith that I brought. At one point, you had crafted a bunch of like glass balls for a ritual. Back when we were bringing back the prince, I brought those along
Okay.
and gave them to you. I also set up my bells on a little table that I think they were going to bring in. I think I mentioned that
I
last time.
know there was
Yeah.
something that I mentioned specifically that I was going to be looking to do, but I don't remember what that was.
I didn't write down a specific. I do kind of think that you were intending on doing something similar to what you did before, maybe. Unless, like, maybe you remember differently, but um, integrating into the weave similarly. I actually forgot how you used those orbs. I know that you did something neat with them,
I
but
don't remember what I was planning to do. I think it was. I don't
Paintball
remember.
balls?
what was that, Paul?
Yeah.
I mean, is there a way that you could use maybe like attach your lightning launcher from your armor to them to power them or anything? I don't remember.
I don't remember, and I should have put a note here, and I didn't.
Maybe it'll come to you as we move
Maybe.
through things. Um, so there's kind of the sound of people welcoming someone coming in through the main hall. So you can kind of hear the main doors opening and closing. Um, and a few moments later, there's a knock at the door. Um,
I pull my axe out.
oh no.
I'm ready to go.
Steele just calmly holds his hand up. This is probably him. Please do not attack.
All right, you just pointed. I got it taken care of.
puts his hands down by his side.
Literally staring at his hands. I'm just like waiting for those hands to get pointed.
He holds them like this. Please enter. And someone who is very similar looking to Callan walks in the door. He has jet black hair instead of the curly blonde that lays kind of wavy and chunky around his shoulders. Um, he looks a lot like just rougher around the edges than Callan. Callan is a very like coiffed man. Um, this man is definitely not. He is like old black armor, very like emo aesthetic with the everything black thing. He's slighter than Callan. Callan's a tall man. He matches that height, but where one figure was definitely informed by a lot of military training and heavy lifting and things to that effect, the other was much more trained by the need to be fast and the need to be quiet. And they do certainly appear so. Um, there is a large scar across his neck that kind of expands down in a T past where you can see in his chest. Um, and like it's pretty obvious that while there are differences, they are identical twins. Um, had things been left to like all of the same circumstances, the only difference in their appearance generally would be their hair color. Um, he kind of scans the room. Huh. Hi, Ren. Um, good to meet you. He gestures, Steele gestures, and is very careful to not point.
I
Just like,
literally watched like fuck.
no, 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 no. Um, this is my brother-in-law, Rendali. Uh, please do not kill him. You would struggle to do so. So, just that you are on the same side. You are now teammates. So, um, Rendali knows who is safe and who is not inside the castle. And Rendali, you are to point and direct Paul should he need to take violent action against someone. Ren just kind of looks over at Paul.
Please make sure that if the need is there, that you point, and please also make sure that if the need is not there, that you make no action that could be misconstrued, even theoretically, as pointing.
I walk over to how tall is he like compared to Paul?
So he's, I think we decided like about 6'4".
Okay, so
Yeah,
he's
he's
tall
pretty-
enough. So I walk
pretty
over
tall.
to him and I just like who basically like just like a gentle tap, like with my fist, like, don't worry, pal, I got it covered. You just point and I'll kill. And I just tap my nose and wink at him.
Ah. I appreciate your steadfastness. His voice, I can't emulate this without hurting myself. Same general voice as Callan, but you can tell that this has been massively damaged. So it's this like growl of a voice.
I'm picturing the bad guy from Crow. Like, I can't remember that actor's name. He has like that deep gravelly, he has like that real gravelly voice.
I can't picture him.
I would have to look that up to remember. I've seen it, but it's been ages, so I don't remember
He
anything
played
about
the
it.
bad guy in the Three Musketeers movie as well.
And already I haven't seen.
Well, he was big in the early 90s. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Early 90s bad guy.
he played a lot of bad guys in the early 90s.
So like Jeremy Irons?
No, not Jeremy Irons. You recognize him if you saw him. I'm derailing the story.
That's
Oh no, he
I
was
mean-
one of the good guys.
Yeah, he was one of the Musketeers.
Yeah, he was one of the Musketeers.
Right.
He wasn't, because Tim Curry was the Cardinal. He was like the Cardinal's right hand man. So
Huh. Yeah, drop it in chat if you want. Because
yeah,
now I'm curious.
good problem.
But yeah, he definitely looks he looks like he's lived a lot of life. He kind of sounds it too. But he doesn't look at Paul especially judgmentally. Like there's a little bit of a okay. And some concern at the directions regarding pointing. Very well.
Very well.
Very well. But yeah, he just kind of gives Paul a nod. Like, I'll try to make sure to not give you any false signals then.
I got it. You just let me know.
You guys roll me perception checks. Maybe somebody's smarter today than they have been. Thea would know this.
I
Oh,
wouldn't count on it.
Well, Thea caught it before. So, Thea,
And
you get to roll it with advantage.
13.
The
One.
two people this would impact the most don't notice they both rolled single digits.
I rolled a natural one, so
Keith, what was
13.
13? Okay.
22.
Ah,
Jason, are you wrong?
That one.
a lot of that going around. Which, you know, you
start.
guys are paying attention to other things, so that's fair. That's fair. Keith, you would notice this. Tevin would kind of realize this to a degree. But Thea, where you noticed it before a bit with Eric and Callan, Eric and Ren look strikingly similar. Like there are some differences. The skin tone, Ren's quite pale, but like the facial features and like if Eric stopped caring about his hair, different things like that. Like they look strikingly similar. Neither of them seem to notice this about each other, so that's a thing that Thea notices, and Teffin to a degree like catches those similarities. It might not be one of those things where he fully registers, oh wait, like this looks not like a normal coinky-dink sort of an appearance similarity.
So,
But
since he's got other things on his mind, there's a little piece of him that is not paying attention to himself, and he starts to, like, very slowly, his image starts to take on some of their features. It's like he's not even aware he's doing it. He's focused on other things, but he caught this like similarity, and it's like, oh, there's a part of him I think that thinks, oh, I need to fit in, and so he's starting to sort of morph into this whatever he's seeing among these two.
like I've seen three people that look kind of like this.
Yep.
I'm just gonna look like
Yep.
them.
I almost feel like Paul might like say something to him about it without being like you look familiar. Have I met you before?
Red.
Did you ever fight in the wars?
Oh, might have. So, Ren catches you slowly, sort of morphing, and just looks at you. Is like, that is unsettling. Just, ugh.
the rest of us just don't even notice.
Oh, I didn't roll for a steal. That would actually matter. He's gonna notice, but he's got other things on his plate right now. So there's this like glint in his eye as he looks between the two of them, and then he's just like, and goes over to like the little cot area, snap of his finger, all of the candles light. Um, my friends, if you would join me in the circle, any of your magic that, any of the ways that you access magic, if you would like to settle into a meditation and look into the weave around me, I will try to make this a more accessible thing for you to join me in some way in. Um, we will see that we have anchor lines, and I will have all of you anchor to me, if you will. I will speak you through that process as we go. And he'll lay down on the little cot and start to settle in. As he does, you see it looks as though before you settle in that he becomes very corpse-like. There
Oh
is
shit,
still
he's dead.
there's still breath. Like he's still breathing, but he very much like if you have seen a a spirit leave a body, it is very much that vibe where they are there and then they are not. Um, so uh, he
How
settles in
dead
space.
does he look to Paul?
Roll me an insight check. Insight or perception, either one, whichever's higher.
Insight or perception?
Or maybe investigation would be better than insight, actually.
Okay, that's actually not bad. Investigation, that's an 18.
Oh, wow.
I've seen a lot of dead bodies.
Fair. Most dead bodies don't breathe this well.
Okay.
Uh,
I was
like
about to shove a health potion down his mouth while he's in his meditation.
it definitely looks weird to you because you've seen dead bodies before. So like this is strange because it has a lot of the trademarks of a dead body, but it definitely can't be dead because he's still breathing.
Okay.
There's just a strange. It's kind of off-putting, really, because like there's dead and then there's not dead. So
Whatever the hell this is.
yeah, to somebody who's accustomed to dead bodies and live bodies, this is something different. It's a little uncanny valley for you. Um,
You guys better have a doctor on staff. I don't think this guy's long for this world.
uh, he's been worse. Just get him through this, okay? Um, and he'll like Eric will sit down and Scylla will sit down next to him and kind of start the circle around all of you that have what's that?
I just as Thea's like just go into her spot to like go sit down. I'm just gonna walk by Tepper and be like, "Your face looks different than how it looked when you first walked into this room."
And it'll snap back to what you're used to.
She's
Sorry.
just like, have some tact, man.
Sorry.
You know, wink at you, and I'll go take my spot.
I do have a question about like the arcane situation here. So he's obviously he's drawing from other people's arcane. Is he drawing from any arcane in the room, like whether people are aware that they have it or not, or is it like because Paul has the ability to cast spells, but Paul is not aware that he is casting spells.
So there would probably be like small bits that he would be drawing from other arcane sources too. The primary sources that he would be drawing from would be the people that are intentionally and mindfully putting their energy into
Okay.
him. So he might notice that you have magic, but that will not be one of his main sources because you're not necessarily willingly giving it to him.
Okay.
So there might be a little bit of like an almost off-gassing that you're creating for him there.
I keep like smacking like think I got a bug on the back of my neck.
Might feel kind of like that. There might be a little bit of that, along with some other interesting flashes for you later on. So, all of you, if you would like to uh, narrate how you settle in and access the weave for yourself, feel free. If you don't have very much of an opinion for that, that's fine too.
So we've got Teffin, Thea, Eric, Scylla, and me, who are all putting in magic leaves. Am I missing somebody?
So you, yeah, Kevin. I think that's it.
Okay. So for everybody that is there, Eden is actually going to walk over to once they've settled down. Eden is actually going to walk over to each one of them, and he'll take one of the bells out of his bandolier, and he'll set it in front of them at least for a second, and then he'll ring it, and then he'll go back to where he has everything set up, and then he'll go to the next person, set a bell, like a different bell in front of them. And so for Eden, what he's sort of doing is making sure that he's in tune with everybody as well, because he has sort of a bell, and I don't know if anybody would have caught this, but he has a bell that he uses if he's ever doing any magic on somebody else. He has a bell that he uses for that person. So for each of you, he has a bell, um, and so he then is making sure that he has that sort of mental synchronization going, and then he'll go back and he'll start playing a really soft tune.
It's really cool. Um, as you do this, it makes it kind of easier for the rest of you to see how you're integrating as your tune kind of starts lighting up almost like a woven fabric for those of you who have access to the weave. You start seeing almost an overlay um, of crisscrossed fibers of glowing magic. I've described this to you before when you've done something similar. Um, Eventually, that overlay becomes the thing that you're seeing, and you can see other hints of moving things in it, and sometimes like bright spaces in the threads moving quickly from one place to another throughout it. And this begins to be like what it is that you're seeing. Thea, do you have a way that you prefer to access?
Um, well, I'll pull out like my grimoire and have my inks and everything set out. I'll call Archimedes out and just have him kind of keep watch on everyone. And then I can also throw some dancing lights if we need more light, or keep them dim if dimmer light is better.
The light won't necessarily impact how you're seeing things at this point because you're seeing energy. Um, so you won't have to. The whole world kind of looks like dancing lights right now. Um,
Well, yeah. So I've got all my inks and my grimoire out, and got Archimedes. I don't really know what else I could do. But
we'll get there some.
yeah.
There will be some things that you can do soon. But that gives you like your access point as you open your grimoire. Um, the threads of light connect to the grimoire and then connect into you. Your paints kind of send that same signature like up through you and into the weave. And so as you connect, since you've already connected Eden, you can see like the space around her begins to brighten and glow as well. Um, and those of you who are already in the weave can see Estiel just like the silhouette of his figure in that fabric standing over his own body, just kind of waiting for everybody else to join in. Um, and Keith, how do you go about this?
So Teffin sort of takes his spot in the circle. He kneels down and unrolls a basically just a work mat in front of him. And as it unrolls, there are five little bits, little little globes of glass um, that he has obviously meticulously prepared ahead of time. And he starts to, starts to pull out some of his tinker tools and starts adding little bits of mechanics and machinery to each one. And as he does, um, those of you who are in the weave, it's obvious that he is pulling in and making connections between these little glass bulbs and the weave itself. And as he completes the work on each one, they each start to glow a little bit with concentrated magic. As but these are little teeny tiny things, and so unless you've been to the workshop, the downstairs in the castle, you might not recognize them. But those of you who have, these look like they might just slot into each one of the mechs that he's been building downstairs. He's building the power cores now for each of them.
He's using his mech suit batteries.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very nice. Yeah, so this plugs you into that same circuitry. Those of you who are already able to see this also see Scylla kind of talks to herself under her breath, or it looks like she's talking to herself under her breath. And this Falumph, this cute little weird, I don't, I'll have to find it. Like a silhouette of a Falumph comes and sits next to her and holds her hand, and then she is integrated as well. Eric's is kind of interesting. His eyes begin to glow, and he gives a small, like, he rubs his hands together and speaks a prayer, lifts his hands up, puts them on the ground, and you see this connection between him and the ground, and he pulls in first and then expands himself into the weave. Um, and his eyes remain open to those of you who are guarding, and just wide open, and the kind of ice blue star around the outside of them glows very, very vividly. Little possession-y looking. At that point, Estelle will guide all of you in connecting some of the threads of your own energy to him. Yes, Paul.
How long does this how long does this process take, like, for everybody to kind of get here?
Probably about like 5 minutes.
Okay, so it's like a pretty quick process.
Pretty quick process, yeah.
Paul's waiting to kill someone, and there's literally nothing going on.
Yeah, for you, there's pretty glowing lights, and your neck itches all of a sudden.
Yeah, so time is of the essence for Paul. So once we get about 30 minutes into this, then yeah.
There might be something for Paul to fight within 30 minutes.
Okay, Paul will be distracted in at some point. It's just everything keeps moving.
Yes. So yeah, at the current moment, it's only been about 5 minutes. Things are starting to settle in. What's that?
Paul's still excited because he thinks he might get to kill something today.
At this point, Ren is looking down at him from the other side of the door, kind of amused, like, not judgmentally, just amused. Does Paul say anything to him or anything like that, or is he just eagle eye and everything?
He's watching, waiting for the point. He's
waiting for anything.
like yeah.
Um,
Nobody's getting in here and disturbing this thing except me.
I'll disturb all the things. So, Estiel guides you through connecting yourself to both him and his body, and informs you that as you go, you'll be able to filter spells into him, and you will be able to see through his eyes, so that you will have an idea of where it is that he's finding these things. But you will not necessarily be traveling with him. You can, however, integrate like your magic with his and your awareness with his. Um, it would be too dangerous to take you very far away from your bodies, but you can interact from your bodies. So, with that, he informs you that he is going to um, attempt to interact with Koche, and asks Eden to try to play tones that he thinks would be resonant with the frequency of Koche. If there are any sounds or anything like that that he can remember from their interactions, and asks the rest of you who have seen him before to create a very vivid image in your minds of him. Um, all of you guys that are integrating with that, roll me an Arcana.
Eden, take a plus
A
4
bit. Okay.
because I am using
Night.
Flash of Genius.
Oh, okay. Sweet. So with that, it would be a 19. Oh, actually, let me add a.
You equal to.
Um. Sorry, 24 for me then.
24. Keith, what was yours?
Mine was a 13, but I have only ever seen Koche from a very far distance.
That's true. That's true. Those are still some pretty good rolls, though. So with that, oh, I should roll for Eric and Scylla. Make sure they don't. I mean, they're not able to do. Yeah, they've not really seen Koche, so yeah. They Estelle actually looks at the three of you guys rather impressed. He did not expect you to be able to add so much to that connection. And you see as you guys get this visual in your minds and you play the tone, that his eyes follow the threads of that magic. And his spirit kind of reaches up and takes one and pulls it back and lets it go. And you can see this like really bright light shine up through one, and it passes through this web of connected like magic fibers, and he's able to kind of look up. This is where I begin. You'll be able to see me as I go. If you speak to me, I will very likely be able to hear with this powerful a connection. Thank you. And with that, he puts his hand fully on that thread, and you see him kind of envelop that thread and then be almost absorbed by it and travel up it. From that, you guys begin to see almost like this soaring in the back of your minds. Like you have a presence of mind for what is in front of you still. There is still sight, but there is almost a second sight in the back of your mind taking you along this path of this thread that he is traveling. You pass other entities that are sitting inside the space, different like spirits that you think like occasionally one will like move actively out of the way as if in surprise. There's there's this very quick tug you by your belly button kind of sensation as you're being pulled down this thread, that you imagine is probably an echo of what he's feeling right now. And it brings you up past this continent, through the sky, through the ground of the strata above you, and then into kind of a new space that you're unfamiliar with above that even. And you see this energy passes by um, this woman, youngish looking woman, well, youngish, like still mature. I would say like 40s, with long red hair, in her garden-ish area, we'll say. Um, and she actually turns as if she's seeing it.
Mm.
And you see a large creature's not quite the right word. It's a building over to one side of her that this thread connects to. Um, and he continues on past that into this space behind where there are several artifacts. I said that weird. This is in the building. Um, Past the woman, there are several artifacts in a locked chest. Um, so you don't necessarily see what it is that it's connected to, but the connection is in that chest.
Mm.
So there is one connection that they find in this. Um, Tracing backwards, the woman notices you again and looks with curiosity, but not any violent intent. As his energy comes back down that line to find the intersection where there are more branching spaces. He finds another branch. You feel like you're actually being pulled multiple different directions, but there's a branch that comes lower that feels strong. And so he turns and begins to go down that path. You find yourself coming back to where you are and then down below into an area where the sun is shining red against this great cavernous area, where creatures are running through purple and black foliage, in an underground world. Um, and then farther down yet, where there's fire and demons and things that don't look natural or good. Um, and in that space, you see a gigantic creature that looks like it's made of magma. And the thread is connected directly to that creature in its heart.
Mm.
And Estiel stops shy of that space. Roll me a perception check.
6. $13.
Natural 20.
Ah,
Eee, okay.
nice.
Natural 20 for a total of 25.
Same.
Nice.
Wow.
Mine would have been a 25 as well.
I see everything.
I'm right there with you.
I smell color. Uh,
The past, present, and the future.
so, Eden, you're very focused, as are the other two, in the direction immediately ahead of you where this creature is, because that's what Estiel is paying attention to.
Right.
You two, however, you see these two humanoid-ish creatures that look like their arms are made of like these huge, heavy chains with hooks on the ends, and whose heads are like kept hidden in bags. They look like bloodied messes and tangled by these chains. And they have seen you. Somehow they have seen you in the weave, and they are coming towards you, towards this line that's connecting you. Um,
Well,
if you
that's
have
not
any
good.
ideas of what to do with that information,
Well, that's not good.
what is that you hear?
We have been spotted.
Have we?
Yes. And I will describe the creatures and sort of where they are positionally as if that makes any sense at all, and to try and sort of direct his attention.
Sees what you're discussing, but in the time it takes you to describe this, they are readying an attack against this thread. Um, do any of you have anything up your sleeve that you wish to try?
Well,
Hold on. We talked. What was the rules about this? Because we talked about this last game.
So you are able to send spells through this weave as though it is an extension of you.
Okay.
So
So
as
your
though
body
the
is there, but you can act through the weave while you're connected to him.
so we can consider like the thread itself part of us, or
For this purpose, yes.
okay.
He has you connected to him tightly enough that, like, he's kind of a conduit for you. Fortunately, that could mean he could be a conduit for other things.
Far away.
They would be about 20 feet from you, like from where the consciousness is centered, but they are probably like they are very nearly in melee range. They'll have one turn to get to melee range of the threat itself.
I am going to cast Mirror Image.
okay. Can I set? I want to sort of hold an action. So once everybody has done what they're doing, I want to act last, if that makes sense. With the spell. So once everybody else has done their thing, regardless of what it is they're doing, I will cast Hypnotic Pattern.
Okay. So Thea, did you have something you wanted to try?
I mean, I was just gonna cast it, Eldritch Blast. So I don't really think we can get out of this. So
Fair enough.
they
So
see us. So
they do indeed. With that, I will tell you how this works with those like energy kind of targeted spells. They will auto hit. However, they have to actually be touching the thread for it to travel down the thread to hit them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
the people
you
we're trying
can,
to hit have the hook people have to be touching the thread.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. So Mirror Image creates 3 illusory duplicates.
Interesting. So you've got 3 threads.
Actually, I've got 4. So there's the real one and then the 3 illusions.
Interesting. Okay, okay. So, so you're holding your action for them to actually to the thread, Thea, for them to make contact.
Yeah. I'll hold it at Eldritch Blast because there's 2 of them, right?
Yes.
Okay. So 1 at each of them for if they actually touch the thread.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what's sorry, what was that? What did you say?
Me?
Yeah. Thea.
Yeah. I'll hold it 1 blast to each of them if they touch the thread.
Okay, cool. Heath, is that a like a wisdom save to try and be able to distinguish them? How does
No.
that work?
So if they make the attack and actually hit, then I get to roll a d20, and depending on the result, it has a chance to be targeting one of the duplicates instead.
Okay.
If I roll
So,
with all 3 of my duplicates up, if I roll a 6 or higher, Is it 6 or higher? Yeah, 6 or higher, then it's one of the duplicates.
Okay. I should have had you guys roll initiative before, but since you've kind of established an order here anyway, I'm just going to roll with that if that's okay. I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
fine.
that's going to make my life a little bit easier. So let's see. We've got Keith ended up casting his thing first, which is going to confuse them. Um, you are going to, I know it helps a whole lot when I point at a computer screen. Thea, um, Thea is going to, if they get into melee with it and touch it, cast Eldritch. So that would end up happening kind of, I guess, after their turn. Um, so Eden, would you want to go ahead and do it before they have a chance to take their turn?
If there's a chance that they're going to actually be able to attack, do damage, then yeah.
Okay. So you would be after Keith for that, and then the bad guys. Um, so your thing would happen after Keith created those extras.
Okay.
So you're casting hypnotic pattern. What does that end up
Mhm.
doing?
They need to make a wisdom save.
Okay. Oh, one of them probably makes it 15.
Fails.
Oh, okay. So they both
Yeah,
fail.
a DC of 16.
Okay.
So their speed becomes 0. Da, 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 da. And they are incapacitated.
Okay. So they are currently incapacitated there. Um, they are not yet touching, so you've got a held Eldritch Blast. Um, and with that, they're kind of that solves the problem for right now. Um, so Esteel is just like, okay, GTFO, and starts pulling back quickly. You do, however, see that there are a few shadowy creatures like ahead of you on the thread that have noticed that these other things have stopped and are following. Um, so let's see. He pulls himself back and away. Um, and at that point, let's see. This is not going to be nearly as gnarly as those things, so that's good. But
And the mirror image is active for 1 minute.
okay, so they are going to try and follow that line up. So go ahead and like it's not exactly an attack roll, but they are attacking the lines to be able to follow them back. So go ahead and make your rolls. There are two specters.
Okay, so that
Uh,
was a 13, so they would have gotten a hold of um, one of the duplicates.
okay, so one of them grabs a hold of the duplicate and it fades, and you
Leaving
just
me
hear
with
shrieking.
leaving me with 2.
Okay. There are two specters. Do they both do you have to roll
Um,
for both of them?
yeah, so if there's
Three
if
to
there's
five.
2 of them, okay. So that was a natural one, so it actually the second one grabs a hold of the right line.
Okay. So you guys are backing away very quickly, but you can see this kind of as you're backing away happening. Um, you get this jolt through you that this one doesn't have the capacity to disconnect you, or disconnect a steel. However, you feel it go through you and past you. Um, Paul, uh, where Estelle lays in this space above that almost seems like it's churning with magical energy, there is a specter that appears. Um, Very large, ghoulish fellow that begins to squawk. And Ren immediately turns his attention this direction and just points. Now's your chance.
Make it dead.
Yes.
I
Um,
immediately go into a rage.
just immediate rage. Go ahead and roll your initiative for me.
None of the rest of us can help you. This is all you, Paul.
Yep. This is you and Ren. Period.
22.
Good deal. Good deal. Okay. So, you'll actually go before Ren. This little guy is still like really confused about where he just ended up because he thought he was chasing you guys down a silver thread and he missed. So, yeah, you guys are still following Estelle, although you're Bumblefuzz.
Archimedes.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
almost called him Moriarty. I was like, that's not right.
But that's a great name. Oh, that was my next one.
But you see through I almost called him that again through Archimedes' eyes what's happening back at the ranch. So you've got some idea of what's happening through here. Paul, yeah, you are firsties, so go ahead and
How far away is it from me?
it would be the whole room is probably I'd say like 15 by 20. So
Yeah, this thing's not ever getting away from me. I close the distance. I attack with Great Weapon Master recklessly.
Yep.
So that's a 19 to hit.
Bad day
that
to be a bad guy.
yeah, it is a bad day to be a bad guy. That does indeed hit.
Ooh, max damage. So eight, that's 20 points of damage with my great axe.
Oh, that already does a pretty good dent of awful to him.
And
Well
his
done.
attack,
It's a good one.
uh,
And-
oh, not as great. Does a 15 hit?
A 15 does not hit.
And I'm with it. Oh, wait, hold on. Nope. I don't with it. I'm rolling a D8.
Oh,
That's the reason I with it. Let's do that again. Natural 20.
oh yeah.
Okay. I was like, that's weird, man. I keep rolling really low with this. Oh, that's it's a D8. So yeah, natural 20. So damage. All right. So that's 20 points of damage. Again.
So
Because
that is actually
double the dice.
enough. Like this thing ends up squawking and just being obliterated by the axe. Like Ren is running up to it to help and is just like, well, um, yeah, yeah, that's something. That's something. Well done. Um, so you are now standing effectively on top of Estiel, uh, where there is no more Spectre, but you know
I
you got the job
suddenly
done.
step off of him.
Just wait. Uh, it's not a bad idea actually, because most things that are going to manifest are going to manifest from like the weave's belly button, which is right now right there. So, you know, that's fair. Okay. So as you guys are getting through life, the universe, and everything, um, you end up being pulled back up from the hells, through the under, back through where you are. There is now like, well, I guess it's not a dead body because it was a specter. There is a Paul standing on top of a steel as you zoom through the room, back through the weave, up above, um, going up to the next strata again into this space of really beautiful purple mountains, through this very deep jungle, into a cave, this massive cavern in the mountains, where you see a silver dragon, a huge silver dragon, um,
Oh crap!
well guarded by some interestingly diverse people, um, all just kind of that. It seems like they're being casual enough. There is one of them that kind of seems to get a little bit of a huh as you kind of flow through and past them. Um, and past the silver dragon into the dragon's hoard, um, buried beneath some of the treasure, there is this thread that you are following. Um, so while you can't make out what that piece is attached to, unless somebody has a creative idea for how to see into that big old stack of stuff, um,
No.
you at least know where it is. Um, and yeah, so that's the next one. Um,
Got detect magic. I don't know if that would help.
I mean, you could try it.
I feel like everything's just gonna light up around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more than likely
I mean,
have it like
it does tell you like what kind of magic things are. So if you can like pick out the necromancy magic, you might be able to find it, but
It tells you what kind of magic it is.
Yeah,
I believe
let you know.
I believe so, yeah.
So that might. I mean, you
Yeah,
could
well,
try.
it's a freebie for me, so let's go.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. I'm gonna roll to see. Ooh. So yeah, casting that, you're getting a definite necromantic signature from deep below this like pile of treasure that seems to be isolated in a helm. And this helm,
It does have to be an object that I can see.
uh,
Sorry, I just read
I
that.
mean, you might be able to see a little chunk of it or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll give that to you since I already told you what it is. Uh, so yeah, you get the vibe that there is a definite necromantic signature, and from the rest of the space, you're not getting that vibe. Like this doesn't seem to be a dragon that is particularly drawn to the idea of necromancy or anything like that. Doesn't seem to be the vibe. Um, so it's almost an outlier amongst the stuff. Um, Now, back at the ranch, um, because the specter was able to associate the appropriate line to follow, um, and was witnessed, there is now a strange amount of attention being paid to that particular pathway, as though these particular critters can see the weave in a way that most things can't. Um, so while you're not totally sure how they went about going there, well, no, it hasn't been a full minute yet. We've got one more, and then we'll mess with that.
So, quick
So,
question.
hmm,
You said we are kind of aware of both spaces?
yeah, you have a loose awareness of what is happening in front of your physical selves.
Okay,
Um, you are paying more attention, of course, to where it is you're going.
right.
But yes.
So I am actually going to, seeing as how something did come through, without really sort of taking my attention away from, I am going to reach down into my pack and pull out my clockwork wormling and turn it on.
That is really cool. So you're not going to be able to on the next stop on this mission.
Mhm.
You're not going to be able to integrate on the other side. If you have like spells or something that you would want to cast,
Yeah, that's
you're
fine.
focusing on your attention there. But that's cool. Remind me what your wormling is doing.
Um, we will.
Whatever it wants.
I mean, it's going to be basically a little mechanical watchdog helping Paul with any attacks that need to be made in the space.
Okay, cool. Um,
It has a bite attack and a smoking discharge ability that it can use.
cool. You guys don't see this, but like cinematically, we'll see this. The thread that the Spectre followed before and kind of found his way into the mix of uh, the pit fiends when they come out of their kind of held position are going to find that thread almost like it was another whip and pull it. And as they pull it, there's actually a small glowing like rift that forms above a steel. And then they are it I described that incorrectly. They reach into the weave before doing so and grab it with their spiritual selves and yoink and create a rift that then their spirits abandon their bodies and begin heading towards that space. They'll be there after your next stop, though. Let's see. So we've been to the Dragon's Hoard. The next one, actually not that far away from the Dragon's Hoard. Um, you backtrack past the dragon who doesn't seem bothered if it notices you. It doesn't seem bothered by the fact that you've just zoomed in and out. The one like kind of cleric looking person that's in the space does seem to again. Like there's a rough awareness there. You come out of the mountains across another land mass and into an island, a small island with a giant building on it that seems to be morphing and shaping and reshaping itself all the time. As you are pulled into that building, you realize that this is a huge library. And you are pulled through the library into the vaults. And there is an old sword that is clearly protected. Not that they are protecting other people from stealing it or protecting it from being stolen, but more keeping it safe from people who might, like, they don't trust the object. This is a room full of untrusted objects, and it's pretty clear that that's the case.
Oh, that sounds like a fun place to go.
Yeah.
Where like Paul burns down effectively the Library of Alexandria. Uh, so you are aware of this. There are a lot of cloud giants present, along with a bunch of other little critters kind of running in and out in various colors of cloaks. And you kind of get the idea that several of the giants are aware of your presence. Not unkindly, though. Almost as if there's a familiarity, and you're not sure if it's coming from their perception of you or from Esteel's perception of them, because you kind of are picking up on some of his emotions throughout this too. So that gives you another one. So now back to the ranch before we move to the other interesting spaces. You see Paul, what looks like the glowing spirit of a chain devil, pop into existence through that rift over Esteel's body. Poor man's gonna be like covered in like I don't know, ghost blood, ectoplasm. Um, so yeah, there is now a very irritated looking chain devil coming through. You are primed and ready at that space that has been ripped open. So you and Ren are gonna get a free action first. And then I guess we'll just keep you in the same initiative you were in. That just makes my life easier. So,
Well, I'm waiting for Ren to give me the go ahead.
what's that?
I'm waiting for Ren to give me the go ahead.
Oh yeah, like as soon as he doesn't immediately realize you're waiting for him because in his brain it's like this is just an obvious thing, but when he realizes it, he's just like, ah!
And that's when I attack.
All
Great Weapon
right.
Master, Reckless, all of them.
All the things.
There's a non-natural 20.
That'll hit.
For a total of 19 points.
Nice. Good, good, good.
My extra attack. Uh, 22.
That'll also hit.
That one does. That one does 16 points. Okay.
16?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good smack. About this time, another one comes through as well, kind of poking in through the rift from behind that one. Ren is going to go ahead and attack. You see, he throws a blade that surprisingly sticks into the spectral form of this chain demon and teleports in against it. Stabbing it again does a good little chunk of damage to that first one that you were already on to. That brings it to them. They are going to. And after their turn, if you want to direct your little wormling to do something, you can.
With their turn, can I, like, before they take their turn, noticing that it didn't go down with that attack, can I take my movement?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
that's cool.
Then I will. How tall is this creature? Is it like a large creature?
Yeah, it's a large creature.
I literally go right under its legs. We just keep moving behind it.
I love it.
And I'll move my full 35 feet, using my eagle totem ability to not provoke attacks of opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, good deal. You're able to do that.
Let me double check that. But I think it allows me to move in between people's faces without provoking attacks of opportunity.
That sounds familiar, at least.
Yeah, we need to get another one. It's falling apart.
While he's double checking that, what's your wormling going to do after these guys go?
So it's
Oh,
it's
my
gonna.
apologies. Sorry, I do get an attack of opportunity, but it's at disadvantage.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll try that then. Disadvantage. Oh, I have a funny feeling that's gonna miss. 12
Was not hit.
does not hit. Okay, so he swings his ethereal chain at you and manages to miss you, aiming accidentally too high, which is understandable. Uh, so Well done there. You're able to get where you're going. Um, so one of them is going to attack Ren, and one of them is going to go for you, turning their attention. Um, it's the same one that just took the attack at you, and it does not hit again. He rolls a nat one. So apparently he's really struggling with the fact that you're very short.
Yeah,
Um,
no problem.
yeah, it is a problem. Oh, you do. He does, however, get multi-attack. So let's see if that second one hits. That was a 2. My gosh. I mean, it's +8, but still, it's not gonna hit. Um, okay, this dice is gonna. We're gonna let it rest. It's not rolling well. Um, let's see. And the one attacking Ren misses once and then hits once. So you see him kind of take a slash through the shoulder. Okay. And okay, now your little wormling guy.
So it is going to set off its smoking discharge at the one that is attacking Ren, probably. So the creature needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Oh, it has a +4 to con. 16?
Okay, so 16 is a success. Now, I'm going to roll this. 7 plus 4, it's 11. Would take half, so take 5 points of fire damage, unless they are immune to fire damage. In which case, it takes none.
Oh, hey, good question. Are these things are spirits?
These are they are ethereal manifestations. So effectively, yes. But I'm counting it with
So,
immunities and things to that effect. So it is immune to fire damage.
Okay. In that case, the attack does nothing.
Okay.
If it had failed the con save, it would have been blinded at least.
Okay. Cool.
as a
But
spirit,
that
can it
doesn't
be
work.
damaged by
So,
non-magical weapons?
Can
So-
it be what now?
Can it be damaged by non-magical weapons? As an ethereal, spiritual thing? Because I think generally they can't be.
That's true.
So, in that case, I have done no damage to this
Oh
thing.
no.
I,
Um,
Sword.
I've never used a sword before. I've always been that. So I have done no damage.
Oh no. Oh no, Paul is just gonna keep swinging at this thing too because he doesn't know. Do you have your sword like in your?
It's like strapped to my back. I've got it ready to go. I mean, I suppose if I took 2 good meaty swings at this thing and realized after a full round that I literally went through it and it did nothing, like I could probably realize, okay, this isn't working. But yeah, no, my axe is just an axe, so it
Okay.
doesn't have any magic.
Yeah. So Ren will also like seeing this like call to you. Is that sword magic?
What sword?
The one on your back.
Oh, this thing? Oh,
Oh God, it looks magic. Use the sword. I don't know if he's actually
I
attuned
will,
to
I,
it.
will, I will draw the sword and I will look at it like, all right, I guess I'll use this thing. I literally don't know what this sword does.
Oh, I would have to find it again at this point, but at least it's a magical weapon. I'm
Oh, okay.
reasonably sure it's like got a +2 to it as well. I'll have to find that again.
She told me I got a sword. She never sent me what the sword was.
Did I not?
No.
Gosh dang it. I'm sorry. I thought I posted that in chat.
You were like, this is a really awesome sword. And I was like, sweet. And then I was like, Paul never used it before. So
Crap. I'm sorry. Steven, do you you have this muted?
Sorry.
No worries.
You can plant it and turn it into a tree. I do remember that much. And
Okay.
it does
yeah.
like a healing effect.
Well, let's call it a +2 for right now, and I will send you that the stats for it later on. I apologize. I thought I gave that to you.
Oh,
Um,
no big deal.
I will see if I could find it and send it. But for right now, it's a +2 magic sword. Uh,
And it was a great sword, I believe, so it should be a D12.
Ooh.
Or no, sorry, 2D6. Wait,
I'll
yeah,
look it up.
2D6.
okay. So again, that would bring it back around to your turn anyway. We will take one more turn here, and then we'll go back to the other guys for a minute, and then we'll come back to here. So
Is it this Philosopher's Edge sword?
no, it would be like while he's
No,
rolling
the
stuff, I can
Philosopher's Edge is mine.
Well, I will do Great Weapon Master, all the things, Reckless. So
Arboretum? Arboretum sword?
It's like that
Yes.
might be.
Yeah.
and it's a +2.
It's a +2 to attack and to your damage roll.
It's a strength 1. So, geez Louise, hold on. So that's a, okay. So that's 17.
That'll hit.
Yeah. 10 plus my strength.
Oh, this is
17, 19, 20, 21, 22, with 24 points of damage.
That's more like it.
With the great sword.
here. I'm texting it.
Did you
Just
find it?
the sword.
Yeah, I found it. It won't let me repost it in the group chat, but I can save it and I'll repost it.
Hold on.
It
Okay,
is
cool.
this cool thing
Oh.
where it like turns in like into a tree, and
hmm
we can like swim in a pool, and it gives you HP back.
Okay. Yeah, and it's a +2 to attack and rolls. Okay. Okay, yeah, so that was my first attack. So 20, what, 22? Is that what I said? 22
Yep.
points. Second attack. So that's going to be 20, 25-ish, something like that. 25.
Oh yeah, that is you're good.
Yeah. And then this one will be 2d6. 11 plus. So that's another 20 points of damage.
Very nice. All right, so that one's looking real rough. Ren is gonna finish that. Oh, actually, no, he's gonna attack the other one because he's not in the. So, uh, so the other one is gonna take a pretty gnarly hit from him as well.
So
All right.
I looked through our group chat's media file to find that the post about the sword, because I figured it'd be quicker than just going through. I don't know who shared this picture or what is going on.
Which one is this?
I'll resend it. I don't know who sent this picture or why we
The context for it,
I
but
don't know what the context is.
If it's weird, it was probably me. That
There's a fair possibility. That's usually pretty true. Let's see. Okay, so the Chain Devil, closest to Paul, is going to attack. Let's see.
Oh, nope, that wasn't me.
Does a 16 hit?
16 does hit.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know what that. I vaguely remember it being sent as like an illustration of a goofy combat something that happened.
I think that might have been me that sent it, actually, because somebody was doing something about squeezing somebody with with their thighs, I think.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Um, I'm sorry, did you say a 16 hit, Paul?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so 16 hits, so the other one's going to as well. Let's see here. So that's going to be 2d6 plus 4, and then, yeah, so 2d6 plus 4. So that's 12, and then 22. That's going to be 22 points of slashing damage.
So that's half to 11.
Raging, right.
And then the other one is going to miss Ren with one of his attacks and hit him with the other. And so you see him take another like slash against the kind of upper chest area. And like now the growling is getting quite verbal. Like Ren kind of looks like he might be enjoying this a little bit. Um, it's a little not right. Let's see.
Oh, Paul is straight up manically giggling.
Yeah, I feel like you two in this particular regard, it's kind of going around. Like kindred spirits, at least as far as this particular moment goes. Okay, good deal. And then we'll cycle back around to you other guys for a second. Does your wyvern try and do anything else?
Well, let's see. First off, I've got to check and see if its discharge recharges. It does not. So, uh, it's gonna jump in and try and do a bite attack, I guess. Um, Now, the real question is, would you consider the clockwork thing magical?
Yes.
Okay. But
Powered by magic.
I'm guessing a 10 is not going to hit,
It does not hit.
which means it is ineffective this turn.
That is okay. It was a valiant effort. The rest of you guys feel Estiel tug you from the vaults of the library back into the weave up above everything. You can kind of see the sprawl happening below you of the continents. And then you end up shooting out to the side, well past anything that you've seen before on the ships or anything like that. There's this kind of black emptiness for a moment, and then this cluster of islands that are kind of dark and twisted looking a bit. You end up going into one of the islands under the earth into this cavernous space. And in this cavernous space, it looks like there is a something shaped like a large well entrance. But there is a black matter in the well. And inside the space, you can see gravity like shifting and changing. And like everything pulls in tight towards the well, all these different rocks and some of the dust and whatnot. And then it expands rapidly and hits the outside of the walls. Like
Does it feel like that's affecting us as well?
to a degree, yes. It makes you feel clumsy and chaotic, and the line isn't linear anymore. The weave is bending with it, so it feels unstable. There's not a gap in it, but it feels unstable where you are. And the best you can tell, the signature that you're chasing is in the well. Naturally. Estill does not get brave enough to go into the well. from this space because that seems like a really terrible idea.
Yep.
He does value his life, and he doesn't see very much of a reason to tempt that at this particular moment. Pulling back over, and then shooting to the side into the Smeraldi continents, out past Milladunny, where, well, you guys haven't been there yet. Although you might have heard Eric talk about it at this point. His mother was from a place that was uh, days distance from Milladunny, which was the biggest city on that continent. So out past even the area that he said his mother was from, in the deserts, you end up in a tomb of sorts and see a sphinx that takes quiet notice that something has shifted in the weave. You can kind of tell that their movement is changed a bit at your presence, and they seem to be paying attention to you to a degree. They don't seem bothered, but aware. And in that space, there is a breastplate that is being is the thing that is drawing you in. And then back where you guys are, Paul, it is your turn. There is the one closest to you is looking real rough. The one by Ren just took a pretty big hit, but he's fresher. So yeah.
Alrighty, let's give this a shot. Great Weapon Master. 22.
Yep, that'll do it.
With max damage, so
Might be enough.
21 points of damage.
Not quite. It's
Wait,
got like
hold on.
3 hit points left.
Make sure my math is right. 6, 12, 19. Oh, Great Weapon Master. Add 5 more to that. That's a Great Weapon
He's
Master.
dead. So it kind of almost like
That seems a little low.
explodes.
Damage.
It-
Yeah. I cleaved him in twain.
From the entwainedness of it.
How
Kind
far
of
away is the next one?
if you have another attack, yeah, you'll be able to make it. You can burn your movement to make that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 35 feet of movement.
Yep, you're good.
So I, like, zippity doo dah, super quick to the other guy and roll my attack. And that's going to be a 24 to hit.
24 will in fact hit.
Ooh, so that's 7. So that's 14 points.
14. Okay. So that. Okay. And then Ren is going to do the same. I mean, not exactly the same because he's a rogue. Oh yeah. Okay. So, and you can see like Ren at the as you kind of bowl it forward, it grabs from behind him and stabs really deep into the what the spine would be. Not totally sure if this thing has an actual spine, but there's something pretty solid in there that he gets real messed up in. And like it's still got some life left to it, but it is not happy about that life. Let's see. It's gonna try.
Sometimes I feel that way too.
Well, I'm happy that you're still alive, Stephen.
Oh, me too. Me too.
I understand, though. So yeah, it is going to attack each of you. It's gonna try and wrap its chain around Ren. Da, 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 da. Okay. And it animates. Let's see here. See if he can grapple. Okay. So, I'm gonna have you roll me a strength save, Paul.
Alright.
Only Paul had a bunch of strength.
I know, right?
23.
23. Okay, yeah, you're fine. So after the scour that Ren just gave it, it manages to whip a chain around uh, and hits pretty solidly, then grapples Ren in close to it. Um, there's a pretty gnarly gash now in one of his thighs as it pulls him in. It tries to do the same to you. It does, in fact, hit you, but it does not succeed in trying to wind you into it. So that's going to be 13. Yeah, 13 points of slashing damage.
Okay. So, 7.
Yeah.
Oh, you trying to grapple me? Oh, buddy? Okay.
He tried. He tried. He failed. Uh, um, so that will wrap back around to you, and if it takes more than one turn, we'll go back to the other guys before the next one. So Paul is you.
I go, that's not how you get someone to stand still. This is how you do it. And I grab my immovable rod.
The rod. Yep.
Yep.
And I jam that shit sucker right into his pelvis. Full strike. And lock it in place.
Nice. Roll that attack roll for me.
18.
That'll hit.
The goal is not to do a huge amount of damage, but for him not to go anywhere.
That's fair. That's fair. All right.
Movable rod locked in, and then I'm going to take my extra attack on him.
You're going to take your what?
My extra attack.
Okay, go for it. You can also do improvised weapon damage for the immovable rod if you want to.
What's that, like a D4?
It's a D4, yeah.
Yeah. Plus my strength. So, I mean, with my strength, it's still pretty high. So, that's 9. I rolled a 4.
Cool, cool, cool.
So, okay. And then D20 for my greatsword. So that's 27.
That'll definitely hit. What you need, Steven?
No great
Reagan
weapon
is
with the extra-
taking notes on the things we're seeing, yeah?
Yes.
Could
I was
I,
gonna go
im-
through them.
yeah, if I
that's-
could if I could importune you to send those to me, I have to run and deal with my son for a second. So anything I miss, if you wouldn't mind just shooting over.
Sure. Yeah, no worries.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll be back.
That's 17 points of damage.
17 points. Okay. He's starting to look pretty rough now.
And I'm gonna take my movement to just like dash back and taunt him and be like, "Come and get me, motherfucker."
Nice. Nice. Okay. Ren is going to try to break that grapple and succeed. That does, however, eat his action. So that brings it to our fella again here. Wow. Okay, he is angry and just flailing. Swings both chains and misses Ren with both of them. So yeah. That was a pretty effective, like he's just flailing at this point.
Is he trying to do any movement or trying to? to get out of
He's
the
trying. It's not
office place?
working. Yeah, he hasn't. It hasn't dawned on him that he can actually like pop out of that. So he is trying to move against it, but he can't go anywhere. So good call. Good call. It does not look comfortable. It looks like it hurts real bad. Okay. And since Steven stepped away for a minute, we'll go ahead and finish this part. I strongly suspect you will finish this part.
The
So,
wormling?
I was just about to ask.
God, I hope the worm kills it.
Does
It would have to
it,
do a lot of
and
damage.
I mean, it's not going to do a lot of damage, but every little bit helps. Does an 18 hit?
An 18 will hit, yes.
Does a grand total of 5 points of piercing damage.
But he's so proud of those 5 points.
He is.
He's just like hanging on to like the little guy's
and then
arm.
and then there is also sort of a click in its chest as its smoking discharge resets. Rolled a 6 this time, so it resets, but he did not use it this time. He just did the bite.
It's like it didn't work the first time, so meh. Okay, good deal. That brings us back to Paul.
All right. Paul's going to slide back in and attack. Great Weapon Master Reckless. Ooh, bad rolls. Yeah, I'm assuming a 10 doesn't hit.
No, 10 does not hit.
Yeah, I whip it the first one. Glad I have Jeff Reckless. I rolled a nat 1 and then an 18 for that. So 23.
23. That will certainly hit.
All right, 2d6. 7, 15. 20 points of damage.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, he is looking real rough. And oh yeah. So Ren is able to like get up next to him and just like pretty much grabs his head and slices his neck wide open. Which would have been a lot grosser if you were like a normal dude, but in this case still you've got the little ectoplasm and the parts of them that are left are beginning to like disintegrate and kind of vanish into a dark vapor in the air. So yes, congratulations. You have killed the chain devils.
You killed the ghosts.
Yeah, you killed the ghosts. They kind of, those of you that are still in the weave, since you're still kind of connected to the connections of Cochet and they followed through that space, you feel this like disconnect happen and this like wilting of something that was behind you, but you feel like it's almost a release to you. Like it's a like maybe something sucking away some of your power that you didn't understand that is now not. So it's no longer feeding into the same loop, that same circuit that you guys are in. So okay. And you guys, speaking of, get pulled away from the desert space where you saw the Sphinx and get yoinked upward to the strata above Milidony. And in that space, you're pulled across a large continent, a really big landmass that has these broad plains and some cities mattered here and there. And there's this giant wall of black mountains towards the edge. And over that, there's this wild twisting, turning storm that's happening that looks like it's made of all of these different colors of light churning together. Just lightning shooting every which way from it, striking different areas of these mountains. Um, and you are pulled through this space past the anomaly, um, into these groves of what looks like bioluminescent, like myconid and different creatures, largely occupying like what feels almost like void. Um, and still there's life within. Um, and there is an orb nestled in the middle of this odd space where myconids have kind of formed a colony up and around this rocky outcropping. Um, and it seems to be glowing as if feeding some of the bioluminescence around it. As it pulses, so do the things around it. Um, and you can kind of see things going from invisible to visible, like blinking in and out of
Hmm.
existence through there. It's an interesting, kind of beautiful, but also really dark and creepy space. Um, and then you feel a yoink back and being slowly kind of pulled back into yourselves through space. So you're kind of getting a really cool overview of a lot of different areas as you're coming back down to the Heartlands, and into the underground wood and into the Kingdom of the Crystal Spades, Empire of the Crystal Spades, I suppose. Um, so
Hmm.
as you come back into your bodies, you now become much more aware, in fact, that there has been some kind of an altercation in the room. there's there's some large signs of effort on behalf of Ren and Paul.
Paul's
Ren's
giggling.
yeah, giggling. Ren's smiling and has a little bit of a wheezy laugh. Um, Kind of standing over what should have probably been a body, but there's not one. There is some like weird little like glowing blit here and there, but um for the most part there's not a body. Also, it kind of looks like somebody was tap dancing on a steel. It's kind of shuffled about and disheveled a little bit. Um and you're all just kind of pulled back into yourselves. Um, for all the time and the ceremony of getting you there, getting you back was easy. Just kind of snapped you back when he was done finding the seven spaces. Um, and voila!
Well,
Congratulations.
this looks like it should be easy 10 minutes in and out. No problems.
Done by next week.
Steel kind of
Were you seeing the same thing I was? Because none of that looked easy.
No, that was mostly poor humor.
the
Are you okay, sir?
You should get that checked out. You had some weird shit coming out of your chest.
Oh,
Did I? Goodness. Huh. Oh,
Like-
is that something followed us, didn't it?
No, something came out of your chest.
Hmm. Ren looks over at him and just kind of smiles a little bit. Short Tweedle? Steele's just like, short Tweedle. Um, that I will have it seen to thank you for notifying me. Gonna be some footprints there later. Um,
Are you injured?
not enough to justify healing. Just
So Eden just he'll
Greg,
pick
we
up
have a
one of
rock that
the.
you can lick that's really good for that.
what
That's
was
true.
that?
The rock,
Oh,
there's a
we have.
rock that you can lick. and
That's
it's-
true. I
Eden
mean,
will
if he
just pick up
offers
one of the
it.
bells and ring it, and it'll set off his sword, and it'll do some healing. It'll
Oh,
do. Well, not much. 11 points of healing.
oh, well, thank you. That is very kind of you. Uh, I don't think that it was abundantly necessary, but that is more comfortable. I
I
appreciate it.
mean, you've done a lot for us today, so I think any small thing we could do to repay you would be worthwhile.
Thank
I
you.
mean, what did you guys do? All you did was sit around.
Um, well, we sort of figured out at least some of what we need to do for the next part of our journey.
Maybe resources that could be useful to you depending on where you feel your skill set is the most adept. Um, I am familiar with many of the places that we saw. Um, there are other parties who could also endeavor to find some of these, if the goal is to retrieve the items and perhaps destroy them.
I think that is our goal, yeah.
Wait, where are we going? We're destroying some stuff?
Paul's favorite thing.
We, well,
Do you remember the flying evil guy that we met when we first went to that castle?
no.
Oh, that's
The
okay.
first thing we ever did together.
What, when you
None.
told me?
No, before that.
Yeah, I remember.
Anyway, we need to go break his stuff and then break him. So
Oh, I'm interested. Are we gonna get paid for it?
We're gonna not get killed for it. Well, probably getting
sus-
killed in the process.
I suspect that there will be payment. Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Regardless of where it comes from, I suspect there will be payment.
Well, and definitely.
Given the nature of what I have just witnessed and where these fractions of this being have been hidden, I feel as though it's safe to say that there would be several places willing to contribute to the funds provided for those who are to handle the situation. Ours would certainly be among them. So there would certainly be at least some pay involved from the crystal spades. I could assure you that. I also anticipate that there would be a significant amount of interest in some of our sister um, towns, countries, territories. There we go. They're still smarter than me.
Well, he's also a diplomat, which you are thankfully not.
Indeed. Um, so I am certain that payment could be arranged.
Well, good, because I'm running really low on funds.
Duly
Oh,
noted.
you did not tell me that you were low on funds.
Yeah, I gave you all my money the last time.
Oh, well, I give me a few days to play and I will recompense you in full.
I'm not worried about that. Our job makes money.
But indeed, let's do that.
So Teffin is rolling all of his stuff back up and making sure that the cores came out okay, and then he's going to look around
Go ahead.
and have to chase down the clockwork wormling because as I recall, it's a little bit of uh,
Sass.
a
A
little
force of
bit
nature.
sassy. Yeah.
It's a sassy little guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he's currently like trying to run in and out of um the little kind of rocky areas of the crystal walls and whatnot. Kind of hiding behind candles
Come
and
over here. Come
like
come back here. No, get come back here.
he
Yes,
eats
you
one of
did
the
good. Come
flames and
back
then
here.
bursts smoke. Just yep. Uh, roll me a dex save.
A dex save.
Or any kind of a dex-oriented check, I suppose.
Oh, let's see. What do I have?
Fast or bigger.
Oh, oh, I'm gonna like. I think I'm gonna try sleight of hand to try and grab hold of it while it's not paying attention.
That's a fair one.
Uh, it's a 10. Not great.
You you put your hand down to try and catch it, and it jumps over your hand and starts like doing little figure eights around the candles. Um,
Mm.
Steel kind of giggles a little bit and slowly kind of bends down and gestures for it to come over, and it just like and hops over to it and jumps into his hand. It's
Dishonor
your
on you. Dishonor on your house. Dishonor on your
honor
cow.
on you, cow.
And now I
Here
can't
you are.
help but see it as Mushu.
Yep. Now you have a Mushu wormling. Clockwork Mushu. Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Of the things that you have seen today, um, which endeavors do you feel would be the most within the scope of your abilities?
Uh, none of the above, I don't think. Goodness.
What was
Should
the
we
very
go?
first one? I wasn't taking notes at that time, and then I tried to go back, and it was in a chest. But where was it?
It was in a chest in the
Behind
house. Uh,
behind a
behind
picture, yeah.
yeah, it's behind a picture in a sentient house that apparently was owned by a lady with red hair who was aware of your presence.
That's what I love to hear. I love it when they're aware of my presence.
There was a little bit of that went through. Let's see.
Yeah, I think you guys were noticed more than you were not noticed.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Well, when you're
I mean,
dealing
sort
with
of nature of
high-level
the beast.
magical things, yeah. High-level magical things are often kept by high-level magical people.
That's fair.
Well, let's see. The dragon didn't seem to notice us, but the people that were around him didn't really seem to get bothered by us.
Well, it was a metallic dragon too, right? Those tend
It was
to
silver.
Yeah,
be
the silver.
those tend to be more good aligned creatures.
Yes, that one specifically is Firihati. It
Oh,
is.
are aware of him?
Yes, I have not personally spoken with him, but
So we gotta go kill a dragon.
No.
We'll not be killing any good dragons, no.
no. The thing that you saw, the magma beast below. Now that you could potentially kill. You
Probably
would
will end
want,
up having to since it's in its chest, I think.
yes, that would be. It would be advisable for you to have assistance with that. If you need to assemble your own crew, you can. We might be able to find you help if you don't have ideas already for who you wish to join. So that one is a fight. The Mother Witch, whose home
Which?
the Mother Witch, the home on legs that you saw, probably a negotiation.
Was that not Baba Yaga?
Yes, you are familiar then.
No.
You are not familiar then. You
You have
You
heard
seem-
tales but have not been acquainted, yes?
Maybe something like that.
you look concerned.
Yes.
That is fair.
Desperately so, in fact.
She is a force. And to those of us outside of her own mind, seems fickle. But there is logic and reason to her ways, in her own mind. And we can at least connect you to someone who knows her mind better than most.
I mean, if you need someone to negotiate, I am more than happy.
Paul, what does negotiate?
Hmm?
What does negotiate?
It means fight.
You hear Ren like just start laughing in the background. Like he just cackles.
Right,
That really
it's
raspy
what you do.
cackle.
Not
What
the
you do
kind of
before you fight.
negotiation we need, Paul.
I like this one.
You can have
Me
him.
too.
That we at least have a resource that would be useful for helping you actually negotiate. I would not advise fighting.
I would not advise bringing Paul.
Create a diversion for him elsewhere. Like pick a fight with somebody that needs to die.
Yeah, this game
Yeah,
this week,
don't bring a Paul to a negotiation.
Nope. I would anticipate that Firihati would also be a negotiation. He is notoriously just and charitable when the ability to do so presents itself. That said, you would likely owe him a favor, and owing a favor to a god could be
Wait, what?
the manifestation of the god of justice. A
You
god
mean
of
the
justice.
dragon?
Yes.
Wait, so we get to
Okay.
kill a dragon and the god?
You will not kill that dragon or that god.
Is it too late for me to quit this particular job?
We can, how are we feeling about getting like new identities and just like settling down somewhere? You want to start a compound?
Okay. Farmsteading it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Could-
so a god and Baba Yaga, and
I do not believe those are fights.
Wow, this sounds really boring.
will also have to go to hell and fight things. So I don't think that.
That one I think is a fight, and
A
I
little
do
more
not think
fight.
that is a fight you should have by yourself. I am unsure. I knew that the well was in the Erde Islands. I am unsure of what was within it. I cannot attest to that. I could
It
perhaps send
kind
ravens
of
ahead.
looked like the same thing that was in our friend. Yes,
Wow, guys, are you serious? It's water. Water is in a well.
that is very true, Paul. Hmm. Um, okay, maybe this was player Steven seeing it incorrectly. This seems kind of like the same stuff that was in Ren and uh, Nate,
Pyron.
Pyren. Is this
Mm,
not?
perhaps a similar type of thing, but not the same. Um, perhaps related. I have a scientist connection above that I can ask more of. Perhaps he knows something that would be useful for that. Um, and I have community past the Black Mountains, the last place that we were, that might have more information for us there as well. And connections at the library as well, for that matter.
I mean, at least to me, and I am open to discussion, of course, but it seems to me that our best bet would be the civilized places first. We do not, strictly speaking, know where a house that can walk would be, but we do know where the library is, generally speaking. Um, I would think that that should be our first place, perhaps, or going and speaking with a bloody god, because why would we not want to do that? Um, Perhaps one of those two should be our first. But I have another concern. If we start picking these things up, we paint a large target on our backs, do we not?
That is
I sus
distinctly possible.
I suspect that Crochet can also see into this weave. It
I do not know
could
if he
be,
can walk it, but I do suspect that he can, in fact, see into it.
and if he can recognize even that those threads are moving, then he will know that someone at least has his pieces of his soul. I don't know that we have the resources to hit all of these places at once, but I feel like if we don't, we need some way to hide ourselves
So should we
because we
split up?
can't kill him.
Or
That
at,
sounds like such a terrible idea, but
I'll go.
or at very least hide the items from the weave if that's possible.
or destroy them immediately because if there's no thread, if there's no item, there's no thread for him to follow. But he will know where we're going if he
We
knows
don't
where
even
he's
know
hidden.
if or how we can destroy these. I mean, if one of them's a sword, I doubt it can just be melted down like a regular sword.
No, I think it has to be thrown into the mountain of doom. Yes.
There would probably be different ways to destroy it. Um,
We're a basilisk too. This one.
ah,
Right. Right. Mhm.
I've heard such stories. I do not know if they are true. Um, I do, however, have a close connection with a man in Meladani who is very gifted in magical items and would know a fair deal about curses as well. that might know how to not only destroy magical items, but also could provide us perhaps the ability to cloak your signatures in the weave so you cannot be spied upon. Or the connections. I love that so much.
Then
Uh,
It's a duck thing.
oh,
it's
I
It's
thought it
so
was a different.
derpy.
it's a derp duck. Derp ducks are amazing.
Sorry, I saw him and had to share. He sits next to Turtle Boy.
Turtle Boy and Derp Duck. That is a dynamic duo if ever there was one. Um, I I can put you in communication with him and send you there, or perhaps easier than sending multiple people to him would be bringing him to us if he is available, and could discuss such things. Perhaps have him bring some things to cloak your signatures. And I can gather some different teams to perhaps help with some of the larger problems or just divide and conquer, as they say, depending on what it is that you uh, think would suit your ideas the best.
Um, I will still be able to hear you guys. My son has his light on again. I'd rather go deal with that. I'll be back.
Kids.
Um,
Kids,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, I think if we could see if he could come meet with us, 'cause I don't even know what's the best way to, if we just destroy them one by one, or even if we can destroy, they have to be able to destroy. But
I anticipate that they are things that can be destroyed. It might take uh, great means to do so, but I have not yet been aware of a magical item that it was impossible to destroy. So I believe that they should be. Um, while Crochet, I believe, based upon what I have seen, is a great threat, I do not believe he is the greatest threat that this world has seen. Um, so I believe that those items that he has created, uh, he relies heavily upon where they are to keep them safe. And if something was indestructible, you would not go to such lengths to attempt to hide them away and keep them safe. So I do believe that there is a good chance they can be destroyed. It just might take some exceptional circumstances to do so. I will speak to Callan. He can message Isanji, and we can see about getting him here as quickly as possible. Um, he is retired. You would think that that would make him a less busy man. That is apparently not true in his old age. Um, but he enjoys an excuse to be able to show off his abilities. So that will at least help. Um, I will consider as well some of the other resources at our disposal as far as other people that would be willing to help. Some would be more than willing to help, but are currently unavailable. So that is a consideration. But we have a band of adventurers here in town as well. They tend to specialize in heists, but have been useful for other things as well. If it turns out that it is the best thing to try to hit as many of these as possible at once. They would be a resource for us as well. So we will begin the process of dividing uh, we will begin the process of organizing our thoughts and organizing our strategies, and perhaps have something actionable in the next couple of days and be able to send you where it is that you need to go based upon that. Does that sound reasonable?
Sounds wonderful. That sounds like a starting point. So,
Very good. Um, his eyes flash over like between Eric and uh, Ren again several times. He looks as though he's considering saying something, and then just kind of lets it go. Would you like to dine with us tonight, all?
we don't want to impose.
Oh, no, not at all. If you are to do such brave things that would benefit a great deal of people, I believe it's probably the least that we can do to make sure you are very well fed and cared for. Aside from which, I am sure that your Council of Nembi friends would very much enjoy having your company at the table as well.
Is there, um, is there time before that dinner? I have some small bits of work to do, and I would very much like to be able to present my work at dinner if possible.
There are about 3 hours, so yes,
That should be time.
excellent. Is there anything that I could help you all with to be more comfortable, or anything that you need in the duration between?
I'm just going to spend this time. I'm going to have my book out and just draw as much of the places that we saw. Just kind of like, so if we were to get out there and get turned around, like we would have a reference.
Mm, that's an excellent idea. I can help fill in some of the gaps as well, based upon what you have. I have traveled a great deal. Some of these places I possess maps of. Um, some of them I do not. As I said, the Erde Islands, while I know roughly where they are, I have never been, and they are largely uncharted. Very few people venture that far past the strata. So that is a thing that I can assist with once you have your rough areas filled out, and I will provide for you the maps that I have of the places I've seen.
Thank
If you will give me just a few moments, I will go actually up to the astrolabe, and there are mini maps tucked away in some of the shelving there. So I will return very shortly so that you don't have to be in mystery trying to draw from memory entirely. Um,
Thank you.
of course. I am glad to be of service. He'll exit, and you hear a few footsteps, and then they just vanish. Like you stop hearing footsteps in a second. Um,
Oh.
doesn't take him too terribly long to come back with a handful of different maps that outline some of these places. Probably sometime between now and the next session, I'll give you some of the maps that he is able to provide, so that you can kind of have an idea. Yeah. So that leaves you guys with a few hours of trouble to get into.
I'm heading for the workshop.
We got finishing mouse armor,
Yep.
We've got map making. What's Paul gonna do?
Get into trouble.
To everyone's surprise.
I mean, he's probably pretty hungry at this point, so he probably wants to hunt down some food.
All right. So the kitchens are not that far away from this room. It's like on the other side of the great hall, down a hallway there is the dining area and the kitchens. Um, and Demira would be there, uh, working on some of the prep stuff for the next meal at the same time that she is also um, working on some potions at the same time. That was redundant, and I said the same thing twice. So if you follow your nose, Paul will find the kitchens.
Back where Paul goes.
Hmm.
What is Eden doing with his little motley crew?
Probably nothing fun. Um, actually, he might beg off and be like, "Hey, I need to help with the work that is happening down at the workshop at the smithy. So I need to go help um do that. Um, I think Tevin needs me to do that thing, so
Oh,
I'm
that
going to go do
gives me an
that.
excellent excuse to see Jessup.
Perfect.
You thought I was gonna let that go easily? Oh. Um, Steele, however, like before you guys all part, because Eric's just about to like start walking off with you, um, and Steele kind of pops in from around a corner, and you see him like actually actively grab um Eric's arm and kind of pull him back and whisper something into his ear. And he just kind of like matter of factly, oh, of course we can speak if you wish. Um, can
Do
can I catch
you
you up?
just want to join us? Yes, of course.
I'll catch you up shortly then. Um, he'll like give you each a cheek kiss in parting and uh go wander off with the steel.
Hmm.
So Paul in the kitchens, Tamira is prepping things. Do you just kind of like walk straight in, no knocking and anything like that? I assume.
Yeah, I mean, I walk straight in. Like, I don't really knock anywhere.
Oh, uh, Paul. Uh, it is Paul.
Yeah,
Is do you need something? Can I help you with something?
yeah, I was just hungry.
Oh, are you in the mood for something specific? Do you have any requests?
No, no, they're just food.
Oh, okay. Uh, well, I don't want to give you the same thing twice in a row.
That's fine. I'll
Um,
take whatever.
I can. Oh, I have something that I've been um brining for a few days. I think that it would be very good. She kind
It's
of
not a prince,
disappears
is it?
into the. What's that?
It's not a prince, is it?
Oh, no.
Okay, just making sure.
Wait, is that a thing you have
Hmm.
experienced?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
What did it taste like?
I don't know. They wouldn't let me.
Didn't you like stick your hand in it though?
Yeah, I think so.
You got like some of the juice.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did drink some of the pickle juice.
The juice. She she looks absolutely horrified. Huh. I where was this served to you?
It was in a. Was it in a ship somewhere?
No, that was in Emerald City.
No, well, I thought we brought him to the temple, but didn't we discover him on a ship?
No,
the
he
cargo
was in
ship?
the underground of Emerald City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
he
okay.
was black market prince.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I tell like in the underground.
The Emerald City has gotten much seedier since I was there last. That's alarming. I, it's fish, not prince.
I like this.
Okay. She goes into the larders and pulls out this like parchment sack, um, that has this like uh brined salmon that she, or something akin to salmon, that she very thinly slices and puts some capers on and dresses it up a little bit for him, um, and puts it on top of like a bed of rice, and uh, has some little wedges of cheese that she puts on the plate and hands to him. Is this good?
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Do you need a drink?
Yes, please.
Of course. Do you have any requests?
Nope.
I'm
Very
gonna
well.
sneak down here and convince her to give Paul some vegetables.
Paul will literally eat whatever she puts in front of
She will bring him, and there is like some arugula and stuff like that, kind of like sprinkled on, just some nice color, papa green in there. Um, she'll bring back some like a kind of a floral wine, and put it in a goblet in front of him. Um, like he's do you like wine?
Yeah.
Perfect. Then you enjoy, and if you need more, you just let me know, and I will happily whip something else up for you.
Thank you so much. And then I literally like bolt to a corner, like to try to like not be embarrassed any further, and just like start eating and drinking, uh, and just like glancing, like trying to not like see that I'm glancing at her every once in a while, but not doing a very good job.
Like inevitably, every time you glance over at her, it's like she feels it and glances.
And I immediately look back to my food and just start just going back
She
to
looks back to her work and just like, has no idea how to actually handle this. I'm like, just just keep him fed. Just keep him fed. This is fine. Uh,
What you can do.
um. So yeah, you're in there doing that. You guys are all at the forge. So yeah, you're helping Tevin. How's that look?
So he'll give Tefan his bardic inspirations, but he'll use like minor illusion, and he'll give himself a hammer that he will like pretend to hit stuff with when anybody is looking.
Give me a deception check. I mean, you're a bard. It's gonna be high, but
25.
oh jeez, I knew it was gonna be high. I didn't think it was gonna be that high. Um, yeah, it's convincing. Everybody over there is kind of convincing.
Except Tefan.
Yeah,
You could at least pretend to hit it in the right spot.
I don't know what the right spot is.
Waylon kind of catches it too and just kind of lifts an eyebrow. Huh. But the rest of them don't seem to notice, and Jessup's just like, "Wow, you're I did not know you did not tell me that you also forge. This is a
I
point in
don't.
favor." Wait, excuse me.
He'll sort of look at the hammer and make sure nobody else is paying attention, and then he'll like swing it through his chest.
Then why do you have the hammer? I
Because
don't know
I'm
why I
trying
just heard French. The
because I'm
hammer.
I'm trying to take a minute to think
Wait,
without having to speak.
how's that working for you?
Not very well because everyone keeps talking to me.
Eh,
See,
He
now,
seems very proud of himself.
now this is why I just ignore everybody, especially when I've got a project on the workbench.
I'll keep hammering
It's not even the
with
kind of
my fake
project that
hammer.
needs. It's not even the kind of project that needs a hammer that size.
Like Scylla will kind of like talk back and forth with Jessup for a bit. How long do you keep your charade going?
I don't know, at least like an hour,
Oh
because
goodness.
he's basically just like he's trying to think through what he's gonna do, and he is running in circles mentally, and so he's just sort of like,
At some point, like you're just like hammering the same piece of metal over and over again with no okay.
yeah,
Like it's convincing for a little bit. After a while, people start noticing that you haven't actually done anything.
hammer like just a little bit passes through the. It makes the right noise, but it just passes right through.
At one point, Scylla catches it and just kind of comes over your shoulder. What are you doing?
Looking helpful. What are you doing?
I don't understand why you're trying to look helpful instead of just being or doing your performances or this is strange for you.
Yeah, there's.
Oh,
I just need some time to think. And I couldn't think of a better way to do that and be able to help Tefan with the magical part.
well, okay, you could have just said you needed time to think.
Right, but I also need to be able to help Tefan with the magical thing.
Uh, You, you could have, you know what, that's fine. I, th- I will, I will stick over to my brother for now. I'm sorry
I'm
for
sorry. No. I think we will need to talk after I have some time to think.
she suddenly looks very concerned. Uh,
See, this is why I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to worry you while I was still thinking. But um,
She still doesn't know about the thing, right?
nope.
correct.
Okay, sorry, I just remembered.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
he
That's
has
that's
not
all Eden
informed
can think of right now.
he has not informed his current partners of the situation. Um, I I can I can let you think. She'll
Thanks.
kind of step away, very concerned.
I promise to tell you.
You never tell a woman you need to talk, lad.
You know, I have never actually had that problem before. And he's just gonna keep keep hammering while he's lost in thought.
Um, so yeah, you guys are able to finish the mech suit.
Do you
Um,
need a roll?
oh yeah, I suppose that would probably be a good thing. Sorry, go for it.
And you have a D8 Bardic Inspiration.
D8 Bardic Inspiration, and I'm also going to use Flash of Genius to give myself a +4. That's a 28.
Oh hell yeah. This is this is some cool looking stuff. It's gonna be effective. Like if you had more time, you'd build in some other cool features, but
But given the
for
time
what
that
you
I've had,
wanted,
So I'll put the
Yeah.
finishing touches, do a last little polish. Uh, I will also hand Eden a polishing rag and says, if you're gonna be standing here doing nothing, you can at least help me polish these up to a fine shine.
Eden will
Time to
absolutely do
leave.
that.
Time to clean.
Yep.
Luckily, polishing is one of those things you can do while you're deep thinking about other things.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. And in his defense, he wasn't doing nothing. He was helping you magically.
He was, yes.
Just
But
also pretend like he didn't
but
he didn't want to look like he was doing nothing.
the artificer in my heart was just cringing every time the hammer came down and the clang was like half a second or so off.
Just a little wonky. Just a
Just a little
little wonky.
wonky. It's like okay. So once we're done with all of that, I will take all of the mech suits and sort of lay them out in a fairly nice case with, like velvet lining and everything and cover it up and then take it, leave the workshop with it and take it up to go get ready for dinner.
All right. Um, Thea, roll me any of your related art checks to see how well you're able to reproduce some of these maps.
What skill is art?
I mean, you would be,
Usually under decks like performance or
yeah, like a performance would be fine. If you wanted to call it a tools thing, you are proficient in your painter's tools, so you would be able to take proficiency there. Um, so
24.
you're doing a dang good job of that. You're gonna have a really, really good um, guide of this. And Estiel actually would invite you into the observatory up in the top. It's a beautiful space. It's like got this beautiful table that has these star charts laid in with gold leaf and just polished beautifully. The ceiling is glass, but it's enchanted to look effectively like the sky above because like you're underground. So um, having a glass ceiling's not really that beneficial in the view, but it looks like the sky above. Um, there are telescopes and things like that in there, all of that. So it's actually a really, really pleasant space to do your work. Um, and yeah, so you're able to do a really, really good job of it. You're up in the third story, um, at the very top of the castle. So getting to kind of enjoy that space to yourself and have some peace and quiet as much as you would care to. Um, and it takes you probably like a couple of hours to get what you want in the quality that you want it. So you've got another like hour or so left before dinner when you're done. If there is anything particular that you would like to do.
I'm going to just, if I can find him, look around for Eric. I'm getting to the bottom of this.
Uh, so you would actually catch him um, sitting at the bottom of the stairs as you come back down, kind of head in hands, looking like his mind has just been blown a bit. Um, just like not sad, just deeply overwhelmed.
Are you? I go sit down next to him. Are you okay?
Don't actually know. I think so. I think that I'm maybe downright good. I'm not sure yet. that has yet to be seen. I
Very cryptic.
like I it's not impossible, it turns out, that I might have living relatives here. Um, but Mr. Estelle, Ambassador Estelle, um, is going to fetch Ren again and bring him back. He had to pick up his children from school, and Estelle didn't want to uh, interrupt that. But I, I gather there might be some familial tie there, which I never knew my father and that side of the family. So, um, if I'm being quite frank, I'm a bit scared shitless.
With it, that it's a good thing, right? Family.
I think so. I suppose that depends on what he thinks about it. Um, my mother did tell me this much. She did not inform my father of her pregnancy, um, and did not hold him responsible for the fact that she was tending me on her own. That was actually what she preferred, but she saw something special in him that I suppose made her think that he was a good candidate for her to become a mother. And so I, for my part, I would think it would be a good thing. For his part, I don't know yet. So, and maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just uh, just a wild guess and it's wrong.
Well, from an outsider looking in, the three of you look almost identical.
Really? Didn't see it.
Like I
Because my
clocked it the minute
perception
we walked in the room.
sucks. Really? Oh, goodness. Now I feel like I just don't know what I look like well enough.
Just have Teffin show you.
Oh, is that why his face did that weird thing?
He slips from time.
Um, well, I suppose there's nothing really on the chopping block if I am related to these people and they don't really care to have anything to do with me, then
Then they're
it's
missing
not like
out.
anything is different than it was yesterday, right?
And they're missing out.
Thank you.
This is probably like a really personal thing, and you handle it however you want to. But I'm more than happy to go with you, or if you want to talk to them alone, and you just need to talk to somebody later.
No, I I I might like the company. Um, I think that could be bolstering, given the circumstances and the uncertainty.
And the timing might be nice because it looks like one of these items that we have to go hunt down is on the way to your mom's. So
It's past, but um, I mean, there might still be some use in returning where I'm from. If nothing else, there are connections that she had there that could be useful to us. Um, But that's the timing could be fortuitous.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, this will be okay. Will be a good thing. About that time, Estiel comes back in. So, uh, you have been invited to the Mondeleon, yeah, right last name, the Mondeleon residence for dinner tonight, if you would be so interested. Um, I know that this is a lot to take in. And Ren is brisk, but underneath it, I assure you, he is a very kind soul. He's a good sort. And he'll listen. If nothing else, Tanace will make him. Huh? Okay. Um, and he'll, if you would like, though, you can meet with him first, have a conversation. And then if you wish to come back here, then you come back here. And that would be fine. Eric just kind of wide-eyed nods. I will walk you to their house if you wish. If you, yes, certainly. Um, and he kind of stands. You can tell like his focus is like a mile and a half away. Um, just kind of very nervous about the entire thing. And looks to you. Um, you're sure you're all right with coming?
Yeah, yeah. If you want me there, I'm.
Thank you. You're a good friend. Um, Estelle kind of looks surprised at this, but like smiles softly and gestures for you guys to come. Uh, and we are looking at it being about midnight for you guys. Do you want to pick that up next time?
Yeah, I'm good with that. We've got a baby that is just refusing to sleep. So
That,
Sorry.
Yep,
yeah.
that's fair.
I mean, I would say it'll get better someday, but you know, Steven's also got a baby that's refusing to sleep, and he's almost 3.
yeah, he goes and like he'll have spells. Like he'll go a couple of weeks and he'll sleep through the night and then he tricks me because I'm like, oh, we've hit it. We figured out our pattern. Everything's good. And then we'll have like a month where no sleep.